this. Manager. So, I think good to go now. So, yeah, can you hear me well? Hopefully. It's hard to hear you. Okay. Let me check what you wrote. Game is a bit too loud. Okay. Let's see. Can do it like this. It's still pretty loud. Let's bring it here down. So this should be quite well, I guess. See? That's good. Okay. So, yeah, we are here in pretty dark conditions, as you can see, up on around 15,000 K altitude, and there should be, no, there was a, I removed it apparently. Well, it is pretty dark down there. I think it's also a little bit rainy, and you see maybe also some dust. That should be fine. So let's adjust here some of this hot. Okay. Mainly stuff I will also mainly be done by my controllers. I try to keep clicking here, but I cannot promise that this will be every time the case. So I will at first attempt, or yeah, go into an orbit. This looks fine so far. So as you can see, here is no steer point or something set, and if you look on the F10 map, you can see it's still also not to see where I am or where I want to go. So let's just check it out. We can just simply use one of those airfields. Oh, that's bad. No. Okay. Well, let me check if I have the data for the... this looks good. Okay. So, runway ILS TACAN. Okay. So let's say we want to land on Koboleti, for example, or we Batumi is more south. Tasi is fine as well. Yeah, let's take Tasi. So Kutasi has UHF 263. Let's set this up. So, and we should already be able to, what was it? Kutasi, right? Kutasi, yes.
Kutasi,
to contact Kurothas. So quickly pause here. So now you see you get a runway. This is 07. This you can see here is runway magnetic heading 08. Exactly you need to set up 068. I can provide you this chart. Yeah, I see it too, but I have no idea why it is that case. I can just stop quickly the stream. Yeah, it's flickering because of DCS. Maybe I need to just bring it to full screen. Ah, yeah, that looks better, I guess. Okay, Kurothas. Well, we have a TACAN, and oh no, we were on the radio call. So the runway is roughly heading 220 for 60 miles. This is what this means. Then you see QFE 2899. This is the air pressure around the airfield. You need to set it up here on the altimeter. You have a turning wheel here, and you need to set it up. We can do it. I just unpause. So you scroll this thing until you reach, what was it, to, yeah, okay. The autopilot is of course working based on the altitude. So what was it, 2866, I guess. So you can set it up roughly like this. So that means that the altitude around the airfield will then also be zeroized. Usually, if you have the standard pressure, this will lead to the situation that your usual normal altitude indicator will not be at zero if you hit the ground. So, yeah, what else? He told us to land on 07, the runway 07. This is the exact heading. You can see it here, magnetic heading of 068. This is exactly what we can put in here. The course. I explained it to you a little bit more in detail. Well, or I guess I can do it now. The magnetic heading is a deviation based on the global location you are at. Usually you have a standard heading, which is for every plane the same, but from depending on the magnetic field of the Earth, there is some degrees depending on the location on the Earth, which you need to calculate it from the standard heading. Yeah. In this case, around Caucasus, it is 2 degrees. So if somebody says to you 070, it is actually 068. Some planes are also able to catch this up with true and magnetic heading. You can set it up, but I think it's still not available in the F-16 yet. So what do we need else? We need, of course, to close this radio. Yeah, I saw that you, in your video, that you activated this radio. This is really not necessary, since this is a backup radio. Of course, for better lighting you can activate it. It looks pretty, but it's really not necessary at all. The main radios are integrated here in the DED, and you just need to use UHF or VHF. And as I said the last time, it is pretty important that you choose the correct radio. So if you have here UHF radio or Funk in German, you will now use 263 as a radio, and if you go back to VHF, I have it on my hotel system, then you will just use 124 the frequency. So anyway, we are on the main page, and we need to set up at first the TACAN. TACAN is, as I mentioned already, the abbreviation for tactical air navigation, and it needs a channel and a bandwidth. So here you see both in this list. TACAN is black, TCN is the abbreviation for TACAN, you see it here as well. And for Kurothas it is 44 X-ray. Yeah, sometimes you can also set up Yankee, but in this case we double down, just enter 44, and then we see we have the beacon of KTS. KTS stands for Kurothas, and I think it is not mentioned in this list, but we are pretty well, I am pretty sure that KTS is the channel for Kurothas. So if we double we can just simply now you hear the TACAN beacon of Kurothas, and this is just to make sure that the signal is received or is going to be received, and somewhere, let me have a look, you actually have a volume for TACAN, I think. Where was it? Let me see. Lights. Here, TACAN. So you can scroll it a little bit down with this one, this knob, and then you actually hear not yet the beep anymore. If I make it loud, it becomes loud. Pretty clear, I think. The should repeat any second. Well, no. I will leave it. Yeah. So you can pull it down as soon as you have the right bandwidth. Then you have the ILS approach. This is 10975. You know already how this works. Quickly to change the bandwidth here, just click on no, exactly. This is the type of TACAN which you set up on on the Doppler sequence, and you need to have it on TR, that means transmit receive. You have air-to-air transmit receive, this is for airplanes. This is rec, you don't need it, and yeah, then we are back on transmit receive. And let's see, how could we just change bandwidth? I don't know anymore. Well, I will have a look into it. Just remember me, just write it down on the paper or something. We look into it. For now, it's fine. So we set up 10975 for the ILS channel. Enter. So, and now you are hear also the ILS signal. It is available, and we can also go here and turn the ILS radio down. Then we don't, we'll hear the whole time this beeping, yeah. So let's see, the HSD doesn't tell us much. So we will here now go to TACAN, switch by M, yeah. And now you see that you have a range indicator up here. Should be not available in the HUD, so you need to look down. Maybe we can just set it up here somehow. I never did it actually, but I think it should be fine. Yeah, you need this. So this means the TACAN, if you just click it away, it's still there now. TACAN is still available. Now it's gone. So you have this course line indicator, as you can see here, and if you engage the TACAN, you have also this blue arrow. This means the air port is roughly in this direction. So just to make sure we fly there now, I will put the heading indicator roughly above this and put on the heading selector so that the autopilot brings us there now. So we have now the situation that we roughly know where our target is. I will quit this. So where our airport is, we see it is roughly in this direction over there. I can just put on also some lighting here for better orientation. And let's set it is landing lights. That's fine. So yeah, and we turn now slightly to the left. It's now at the 9 o'clock. It should be roughly there somewhere. So, and now we set it also up that the course of the landing airfield, or of the airfield we want to land, is in the reciprocal heading. So almost in the other direction. You see this? You see this blue arrow on the heading tape here, and here's the end. This is the TACAN arrow. You can again correct a little bit the heading. This is because obviously we make a big circle in the orbit. That's why the heading tape will not stay over the arrow until we actually fly towards it, and you see the nautical miles begins to or we come closer to the target. So now, as we knew, the airport told us it is 070. We would set the course like this if we don't have the exact course. That the runway actually will be, we need to land actually from this direction. Yeah, you can compare it. We need to come from this direction and land into this direction, basically. You see? So the airport is in front of us, and that means that the airfield is now, yeah, a little bit, yeah, not straight. We do not fly straight to the airport, to the, yeah, correct landing direction. Yeah, you see? Can you imagine this? Does it make sense? So this means basically, compared to our to the FTEM map, even without knowing that we are where we are roughly. So the runway heading we actually want to land is this. Yeah. So now we see that we are actually flying around this direction to it. This means we are somewhere roughly here. So we are coming from this direction, from this angle, roughly to the airport. Does it make sense? You just, yeah, TACAN to find the airport, or ship or something, the carrier. So this is here, you can see KTS. This is exactly the channel 44. This is the TACAN receiver, which is almost placed directly on the runway. So again, TACAN, the external blue arrow, just correct a little bit the heading. So we fly now directly to the airport, yeah, in direction, but we need to land from the 2 o'clock position to the 8 o'clock position. So this is our landing direction. So this means basically, again, compared to the situation here in Kutaisi, we are somewhere here roughly. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you should see. And we fly towards Kutaisi. But the landing direction will be like this. So we need to fly from here to here, or the direction. So that means if we come from here, we need actually, we fly south, and we need actually to turn around the airport. So we don't want to fly here, we want to fly somewhere here, that we can enter this the correct direction and heading for the correct landing heading. So again, you see we fly directly towards the airport. You can see it here with the outer blue arrow. The inner blue arrow shows us the landing direction. So this means, again, in the real world, somewhere in front of us is Kutaisi, and we need to fly actually from there roughly in this direction, just above the airfield. So that means we need now to fly a little bit to the right. We now turn somewhere west, because we don't actually want to overfly the airport. We want to come behind the airport. This is basically what we plan. So what we're doing now is just we adjust the heading somewhere west, roughly, and we see we are 30 miles out. That's fine so far. And I switch here now to the attitude hold and start a little bit descending, just a little bit, because we are way too high, and we try to have around 3,000 of altitude around 10 miles out from the runway. Okay? That means we are now almost, I turned a little bit too far, but we are almost flying the same course as the landing direction is, but in the counter direction. So this is not the heading we want to land. We want to land in the opposite direction. We actually want to fly in this direction to land. So you see again, this arrow shows us, okay, the airport is roughly 25 miles to the left. It should be somewhere around here, but you cannot see it. And this course indicator just simply shows us We need to fly, or let's make it easier. We turn direction 250. That means as we ready with the turn, I need to have a look that I don't fly into a mountain yet. So now the situation is, just for safety reasons, I activate altitude hold again. So now we have the situation. The airport is not exactly, I pause here quickly, is not exactly to the left, to the 9 o'clock position. It should be somewhere around there. So now we fly exactly the same counter, the counter direction. That means, compared, we have Kurothas here. Yeah, we know Kurothas is to our 9 o'clock position. That means we should be somewhere around here. We know we can compare it. We are 25 miles away. So our plane should be now, if I just take here 25 miles, 25 miles, yeah, roughly here. We are really very roughly here located with the airplane now. And we fly in this direction. You see 253 is the counter direction of the airport, and we actually fly 251. So this means what we are doing now, we are here located. We fly here along about, I don't know, I cannot state any miles now yet. I need to have a feeling. I will also check the TACAN needle, and we will turn left at some point with a big rough turn to intercept this landing course. So for this, we again keep an eye of the outer blue arrow for the TACAN position and the position of the airport, as well as the landing direction. So this is what we do now. We fly simply just some miles out there to make sure we are good. Yeah. Just drink something. So we have, you can see we have no other indicator. We cannot compare anyhow where exactly we are, or where exactly the airport is located. We just use actually this instrument. And we can also, for example, do it like this. We can actually turn off the HUD, because we have all necessary informations located down here in this look. We have the airspeed indicator, which tells us we are about roughly 450 knots. We are at around 10,700 feet. We have here our angle of attack indicator, which will also be shown like this, just that it is a band which moves up and down. And we have our VVI, which tells us how much descent rate we have, how much feet we are ascending or descending at all. So this is, you see it if I just go again to the attitude hold and then just point the nose a little bit down. That this now means we are roughly, this is 1000 FPM, so we are roughly descending with 600 FPM now, feet per minute. So we have a really slightly descent. You see this here. It's really slightly going down. We just pull back a little bit the throttle. You see here also, yeah, you see actually nothing down there. So let's see how this evolves. So now we can see the airport is roughly to our 8 o'clock position. That means it should be there somewhere. So this means I will just make a rough left out. It will not work, of course, because we have our heading select on. I just deactivate it so that we now can just make a slight left turn for easier purpose. I just again make the HUD working, but I wanted to show that you actually see everything what you need in if you look down to those instruments. But of course, it's clearly easier to have it on the HUD. So now we see we actually turn in, and we are roughly, it is again on our 9 o'clock position, but since we are pretty far out, I just try to come close to the intercept heading course. We try to achieve that the airport is roughly located in the same direction like the landing heading. This means at some point we will see that this broken line of the inner arrow will come down to the middle of the arrow. Yeah, that's practically just that we intercept the landing heading, because that the arrow is broken just simply shows us that we are off course. So we are not at the correct heading. And now we need to have a look. We have, yeah, here are no mountains anymore. So we need to keep a look and visual on the radar altitude. This is pretty important as we start to, yeah, drop into the clouds. We have actually not anymore visual reference to make sure we fly safe. So we need fully to rely on our data we need to or we see. That's actually really not easy to handle. This is something you need to learn. We have actually also some side wind. You can see that is not centered anymore. So yeah. Otherwise, this is now, we are now at the point where we just simply need to fly to intercept this. But you can see that the TACAN needle and the heading intercept needle is just that this is really slowly coming down. That means our heading, which we try to achieve, I just put back the altitude. Yeah, you can see now this inner line here comes closer to the middle. That means that we are compared to the F10 menu. We are now what just told the 33 miles. So actually we are from here 33 miles. We flew pretty far out. That's fine. We are close to the coast. And we should have already, yeah, we should be here, I guess. We should be over the lake somewhere. So we are coming now down from here and just are very close to intercept this line. Yeah. So that means we're just turning now pretty aggressively to the left. I quickly deactivated the autopilot to intercept this line a little bit more aggressively. So, I just put on altitude hold again, and you see these two arrows are pretty much aligned almost, and this line is also still coming slightly to the middle. You see that this here is now hitting the edge, and this means we are pretty good with lining up with the landing runway. You see, we are course 101, and we want to fly 070. I can just adjust 068, and you see that that is just corrected itself a little bit. So we are 28 miles out, we are at 6,000 feet, this is pretty good, and we try to aim to have at around 10 miles, roughly 3,000 feet. So you see, this is pretty much aligned. We will now again fly or turn to the left. We'll go to 068, 067, roughly. That is, it's nothing what we need to keep pretty much aligned. Now, but you can see we have the situation. The TACAN needle is showing to the north or to this direction. That means we are pretty exactly flying towards the landing airport, and since we have known the exact course, this course needle is just aligned as well. You see here's a slightly deviation, but this is not a big problem at all. Now we are 24 miles out, and what we are now doing is just simply activating the ILS needle. So what now happens is that we are still not in range for the ILS communication. That's okay. We are 23 miles out. Let's see, can we have it in a different? Okay, yeah, this is TACAN, and okay, so now we want to have it like this. We want to have the yeah, you can. Okay, I see. You need to set up the direction again, but that's fine. This is obviously because we switched the main mode to now the ILS approach. So we are now about 20 miles out. I slowly go down and descend a little bit because we roughly want to have 3,000 altitude with 10 miles, so we are 16 miles out. That's fine. We're just roughly on the correct course. And now we actually see nothing anymore. That's also fine. Altitude. Altitude. That's also fine. 13 miles. And usually the... Oh, okay, I think we need a little bit of... No, okay, yeah, you shouldn't turn it completely off. That was my error, of course. Here is standing off, so you should watch out that you set this ILS volume not completely to off. That's pretty important. So now you see we are actually this means we are actually too far to the left, and we are too high. Yeah, you see this intercept could have been a little bit earlier, but we are still 12 miles away. That's fine so far. And now you see also that we have this deviation here compared to the vertical ILS line. This means actually, again, compared to the map, we should be, what was it? Let's see, we are about 12 miles out. So 12 miles out, yeah, roughly. So we should be somewhere here. So we have a deviation to the left and we need to fly more right to intercept the line to the runway. This is what you see here. Our position to the middle is too far left compared to this line. This line is the actual indicator where the correct heading and position compared to the course 068 to the airport is located. So this means we are too far to the left. What this means now, we just simply catch up the ILS needle by flying to the right. And now you see the vertical line comes to the middle. And as you can see here, the line is the same. The line comes again to the middle. So we are now basically almost there where we want to be at 10 miles. We are a little bit too low. This is also what the line here indicates. We are actually too low because the horizontal line of the ILS glide slope indicator is above us. That means we just need to reduce our sinking rate and wait until the horizontal line is catching up the flight path indicator again. And you can see this also here. Again, if you turn off the HUD, this line actually here is repeated on this indicator. So what you need to achieve is that this middle part of the W is actually aligned with the cross. The cross here, you can see the vertical line and the horizontal line, and you need to make sure that this cross is basically in the middle of this indicator. Then you fly perfect. That is your help if your HUD is actually not working anymore. So this means we reduce our sink rate. We need to fly more to the left because we are now overshoot it a little bit. You can see this again down there. Now we are too high. And just drop down now the gear and bring out the. So now we are way too high. We need to drop down. We're good on the approach vertically, but we are way too high. Just raise a little bit my seat. So now we are good with the with the altitude. We need to just come back to the. We need to fly a little bit to the right, and we are actually again too low. Now the tower wants us to. So we are 5 miles out. The actually intercept is pretty well. You see, as you come closer to the okay. You need also to watch out, of course, your direction. We want to fly 068. It's not that easy to explain and to fly it again. Just let's focus on there. We are a little bit too far to the right, and we are too low. So again, okay, we need to catch up 068. This looks basically not good. We have a perfect altitude. We are now a little bit too high. We need to come a little bit to the right. And we actually follow this line. This ILS line. The best case, we bring it almost there. And you see slowly the runway is appearing. We are a little bit too high. But now you actually have a visual on the this means we are almost before touchdown. We are pretty close to the actual runway indicator. Now you can ignore the ILS marker and you are going to land manually. And that's basically it. So, put out our taxi lights. So we need a little, we see a little bit more. Yeah, that was pretty much to the end of the runway, but it worked pretty well. So now we can turn left here, exit the runway, and we landed safely on the airport with really bad weather conditions down here. And that's actually it. So I will just end the stream now and come into Discord.